Welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. Uh, I'm your host, TDT, and we got a little news for you today. So we're going to get started. Let's chop it up. Turn two. Welcome back. It's Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT. You can refer to me as Miss T. Y'all see the thumbnail that said Keith finally got a fight. He's been begging for it. He got his Christmas wish. He finally has a fight. And his fight is going to be with none other than Mario Barrios. But before we get into all that, y'all know I like to do the water check. It's my 10th water. I'm a little tired today, but we're going to power through it. It is a water check, 10th water. When I'm finished, I will be at 80 ounces. So I got a couple of more bottles of water to knock down. Eric Gomez is in the building with the bomb squad. Salute to you, King. Anywho, Keith Thurman finally got paid attention and got his wish. He finally got his wish, y'all. He been begging for a fight. Nobody really knows why Keith had been inactive. I mean, we have to go by, I guess, what Keith say. It's not a good look. It didn't look right. It didn't feel right. And in that, Keith has ownership. Things look like they look. A lot of people don't like Keith, though. Because I asked the question, is he still like one of the top welterweights? And I think he is. I think he is the top welterweight. He only has one loss, and he lost to a Hall of Famer. a 8 division world champion in Manny Pacquiao. Now y'all know how I feel about Manny Pacquiao. It is what it is. I believe that he was on some tea for the most of his career, but he never got caught. So, the honor that I would give Manny Pacquiao is he's the best tea drinker out there. PGH Big Dog is in the building. He says, salute Queen T. Salute to you too, King. But Keith got a fight with 1 loss on his resume. Now, I asked that question, is he still one of the top welterweights? And I'm sure the answer is going to be hell no by a lot of people. But my follow-up question would be why? Why is he not a top welterweight? He lost 1 time. 1 time. Which happened to be his nickname, Keith One Time Thurman. So if he only lost 1 time, why wouldn't he be the top welterweight? Do he really drop that low? Some people could say inactivity. Nah, inactivity don't make you like a loser or should fall way down on the scales. If he said he was injured or whatever he say, if he didn't say he retired, then you have to still count him in the equation. PGH Big Dog said tired of Thurman. Wish he was fighting Boots so my Philly brother could finally get rid of him. I hear you, King. I hear you. A lot of people don't like him. And I can't offer a clever debate or offering a clever excuse why people shouldn't feel the way they feel. Keith has some ownership in that. But most of it started, in my opinion, because Errol Spence finally got elevated enough where he could say he doesn't like Keith Thurman. And a lot of people, to me, follow suit. But if I'm just paying attention to what they doing in the ring, why would I like Keith Thurman? Again, behind Sean Porter, who is now retired, he has one of the best welterweight resumes. To me, he has one of the best resumes. It basically saying, outside of Bud Crawford, who came late to the division, and outside of Errol Spence, Keith pretty much fought everybody. Everybody who's anybody, you know what I'm saying? So I have to give him, the benefit of the doubt. I have to. Because I don't care what he do outside the ring, as I don't care what Errol do outside the ring, as I don't care what Bud do outside the ring. I am human, though. I can look at those things, have a judgment, but when it comes to me judging boxing, I try not to make that a relevant point. So if you don't like him for what he did to somebody else outside the ring, or what he don't do, then and judging his boxing ability or his progress or lack thereof, then that's a biased look, in my opinion. But it's okay. People are people. We are all humans. We can have a biased look. We can feel the way we want to feel. But as for me, I'm going to just stick with what they do in the ring. Andrew Charles is in the building. He says, salute, Miss T. Salute to you too, King. So he finally got his Christmas wish. He has a fight. But he's going to fight Barrios. And Barrios' last outing, he got knocked out by none other than Tank Davis. I'm not going to say it was easy. Barrios was fighting Tank pretty good. You can even say he probably got him a couple of times. But in the end, Tank was the victor. Why? Tank fought him strategically. Tank placed his shots well. Tank waited on certain things, and he got him up out of there, right? As I told y'all, that's how Tank fight lately, because he did the same thing with Leo. And Leo got Tank really good too. But Tank knew once he hit them, and once he get a good shot in, it was pretty much the beginning of the end. PGH Big Dog says salute to Andrew Charles. So Barrios, he's a good fighter at 140, but this is his first outing in 147. Most of those guys, as we already know, will fight at a weight division, but they really bigger than that weight division. Most of them. Some of them, the weight division is perfect for them, but most of them, because you can tell when they rehydrate or whatever. So I don't know. In Barrios' case, we're gonna have to see how well he do in the 140 division. I don't see him being that damn successful. That's just me. But that's just, I'm assuming. I could be wrong. Andrew Charles said, PGH Big Dog Peace fam. That's just me. I could be wrong, though. They are expected, I'm talking about Thurman and Barrios, are expected to fight on January 29th. That's the same day Clarissa fighting. That's the same day, I think they said Conor being in Algeria. Who is it? Algeria? Or somebody, I have to check the record. I'm hearing January 29th a lot. There's a lot of fights going down on that day. I wonder, is it going to all be on the same card? This fight is a Showtime pay-per-view event, and it's going to be going down in none other than the ATL. So, DJ, if you're listening, there's your next fight in the ATL. So that would be a good one. I don't know that if they all on the same card or something. I wonder, is Clarissa gonna be here on January 29th? What it tells me is, seems like I'm gonna have to be saving up my ducats so I can go to that fight. But cause Keith is still a draw. I mean, let's keep it a buck. He's still a draw. He still can bring money. If he was to fight Bud or Errol, that would be a big money fight. Period. Just like AB. We can feel how we want to feel about AB, but AB is still a draw. That's a big money fight. Now, the problem with this fight is Keith is coming off a long ass layoff. I think he fought last in July 2019. And so this is what? Almost 3 years. What, 2.5? Yeah, 2.5 years or so. Which is a lot. Andrew Charles says, PGH Big Dog Peace fam. So the layoff can cause a problem for Keith Thurman there. He can have some serious ring rust. Keith knew better than to say something like, hey, I don't need no tune-up. Let's get to it. Like Earl said. Keith ain't Earl, and he can't do that. Keith do need a tune-up. And the last time he did do a tune-up after having a long layoff is when he fought Lopez, Josecito Lopez. And Lopez almost got him. Because what we know about Keith is he's stomachy. But I told y'all the easy fix to people being stomachy, you got to clean your gut. I mean, you got to detox your system. We talk about that on my wellness channel, not specifically to them, but we talk about how you can clean your system. And but Keith says he's been eating clean. He's knocked off all the weight. So if he do gets a fight January 29th between here and there, all he's doing is preparing for the fight. Because if you're in camp trying to knock weight off, that's not a good camp. If that's the primary focus, we got to get this weight off so we can meet weight. That's not a good camp. So, if Keith knocked all his weight off and then he gets in camp and all he do is prepare for the fight, who knows? The ring rust is real. That will be the obstacle he has to get over, because that can affect your reflexes, your sometimes your stamina, just how you respond to things, period. That's what ring rust can do. When you fight often, you're heightened. You're on a high sense of alert. You're moving quicker. You're ready for this. When you haven't fought in a long time, It's like you slow on the uptake. You know what I'm saying? So this is Keith's biggest obstacle. No matter who he gets in the ring with, he does need a tune-up, because you do not want to get in that ring with somebody like Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence being slow on the uptake. You know what I'm saying? Barrios is coming off a KO loss to Tank Davis. Maybe that loss mentally is affecting him, because it can. That's his obstacle. He have to get over. He's moving into a new neighborhood, so to speak. So that's an obstacle he has to face too. So Barrios and him are, in a sense, made for each other. So that's the only good thing. It's not a foregone conclusion that Keith is going to win or that Barrios is going to win. If they both bring it, which we know Keith can bring it, even though he might be slower, I don't know what could be wrong with Keith. But if you judge Keith on the past, his fights are exciting. Barrios is going to fight him back, especially when he's pushed. Azteca with an El Azteca. That's what he called himself, a warrior. And we got to say that the man carries himself like one. I don't have a problem with this fight. It's a good introduction for Barrios to the welterweight division. It can let him know if he belongs up there or not. He can easily make that decision. It's not going to end his career if he loses. He can go right back down to 140 if he chooses. It might be too much for him, because when you think about Barrios, if you get past Keith Thurman, you're looking at Virgil Ortiz or Jerron Ennis. Can you handle that? That's the question. And in both of those cases, if you couldn't handle Tank, I highly doubt you can handle Jerron or even Virgil. And see, that's a cross that Barrios will have to bear. And like I said, we keep with the ring rust and Barrios being the first time in the weight division, it's going to be a good little kickoff fight. A welcome back type of fight for Keith. A welcome to type of fight for Barrios. For the fans, it's going to be fun. I highly doubt that they're going to lead a card, because they said January 29th. I don't think them two is going to head off a card, but we will see. And like I said, Keith was screaming for a fight, so now he got one. But he's screaming for a fight with Bud, and I'm sure he want to fight with Spence. But it looked like Keith, if I'm talking to Keith per se himself, it did look like he was scared of Errol Spence. It didn't look like that. And seemed like from Errol's point of view, or from his lens, he was taking too long, unnecessarily. So he felt a certain kind of way, Now we wondered why Keith, like I said, he been screaming for a fight. He mentioned Bud, but he said, I need 8 months. Which sound weird to anybody. You need 8 months? You saying next summer? But you saying that now? You need 8 months? Well, that is weird. And Bud was like, the fuck kind of training is that? Who does an 8-month training camp? So Keith, you're going to have to get better in how you explain shit. Should have been, I don't know if he did explain it right, but it seemed like that's all anybody took away from what he was talking about. Hey, I want Bud next, but I need 8 months. Well, Keith, think about every word you saying, trying to work with you. You just made yourself look crazy in saying it like that. Probably what you should have said, and I hate telling people what they should have said, but if you go, you're painting the picture. I want Bud. Give me 8 months. That's what I got to work with. That's what I'm going to walk away with. Okay. Who does, and then in my head, I'm going to say, who does an 8-month training camp? Who does that? I don't know of any boxer who has an 8-month training camp. But that's what you said, Keith. I need an 8-month training camp. Okay. But that's why I say what you should have said. and say, hey, I need a tune-up fight first, and then I want one of the big guys. I want the big guys now, but I have been out the ring for so long, I at least need a tune-up fight. That's it. To get the juices flowing again, to get, my ring IQ back up again, to get my reflexes and agility back up again. I just need a tune-up, and then people could be like, I could see that. And then Bud could have sat back and been like, all right, get all the tune-ups you need. Whatever you think you need, I'm still going to crush you. And in between them two fights, and they are some of my best or favorite fighters, because I still like Keith. But I got Bud. I got Bud winning that real easy. I got Bud. And that Keith do have that power, and people have spoke on it. Danny Garcia, everybody who's fought him have said he hit harder. Everybody who's fought him said that. So he do have that legitimacy. Could he hurt Bud? Probably could. It would be a test to see if Bud chinny, like a lot of people like to say he is, to see if Bud can handle some tough stuff, like they say he could. If he can knock out Bud, if that's the case, if Keith can knock out Bud, then Keith can knock out Spence. Because, he's one time, right? So he can knock, everybody in the fight game going to get hit and get hurt. But can we really, when you give a person a name or the mantra of chinny, you put that jacket on the person and say they chinny, then that means, you're talking about somebody like Amir Khan, where it's obvious he's chinny. It's obvious. Erickson Lubin, he is chinny as well. He's chinny. So if you get caught, and get hit flush on that chin, you're going down. And also, it could mean, for me, it means also the ability of your opponent to get to your chin. Because some people, it's the way they hold their head. It's the way they back up after they, when they're trying to pull out. I'll be like, you so chinny. Because technically, anybody, especially when the punch they don't see coming, can get hit clean on the jaw, and they going to sleep. So what makes this person chinny and that person chinny? I don't think we can say that about Keith Thurman, that he's chinny, but what we can say about him, I don't think we can say that about Bud as well, that he's chinny. But what we can say is that they could get hurt. What we can say, though, about Keith is he's stomachy, because he have shown that he was so many times. But again, if he changed his diet and he eats very clean, he might not have that problem. You have that problem because you've been eating dirty, and the stomach acids and just the acid, you acidic, and that's why people can be stomach all the bullshit you eat. And then let me tell you, I told that story before. I met Keith Thurman at the Floyd Pacquiao fight, and let me tell you, the boy can eat. He can motherfucking eat. Like, I see him devour a pizza and then come up and get a big ass Philly cheesesteak and throw that down too. The boy can motherfucking eat. I don't even know how he ate that shit. My stomach hurting just thinking about that. And when I say a pizza, y'all, I'm talking about no personal pizza or nothing like that. I'm talking about a pizza big as the fucking table. Some you will get for like 4, 5 of y'all to eat on. I saw that. I know Keith probably be like, girl, don't be telling my business. Keith, I saw that. And you was nice and gracious, and you took a picture with me, and 2 pictures with me. And so I appreciate that, but your motherfucking ass can eat. Now, if you're eating clean now, kudos to you. Shout out to you. Somebody got to you. Somebody put that bug in your ear. Because not only are you going to have stamina, which you never really had a problem with, but you're going to have a lot of energy. And people be like, well, how do I increase my energy? Ask Keith if he shows himself to be different in that respect. But a person that you can guarantee, ask Tim Bradley how you can have extra energy. You don't have to cheat. You don't have to drink the tea like some folks like to do. You have to eat clean. Timothy Bradley was pretty much a vegan in his last, however many years of his career. And not only was he cut the fuck up in nice size, he had energy. Eating like that will give you energy. It will give you energy. The same energy you can look from drinking that tea. Eating clean like that will have you so energized. I can't even explain it. If they could bottle that energy up, that eating in a vegan way could have you, they can have you in such a way that if you could bottle that and sell it to people, and people take it in small doses but give that same effect, that's $1 billion business. But real talk, when you eat like that, that's what happens to you. So shout outs to Keith, if somebody again got in his ear and said as much. The deck is being shuffled in the 147 division, just like the deck is being shuffled in the 135 division. It really is being shuffled. The WBA ordering Ugas in this box off, preventing him from getting a big money showdown with the top guys, and the top guys being Errol Spence and Bud Crawford. If you are on that pathway to try to be undisputed, you shouldn't be looking at the side, or you shouldn't be looking behind you. Like, I understand that Bruce Ennis has called them all out, and they all was like, in due time, young Potterquat, in due time. I understand that they're saying that, and I don't take that as them ducking or whatever. I know that if we're going to make ducking rules, I guess, you can apply that. Me personally, I don't consider it ducking or anything. I consider them having a plan, having a goal, creating a plan and sticking to it. You can't be undisputed when you looking all around. You should be looking forward. You should be eyeballing where that belt at. Who got possession of that belt? Let me go get that from you. Let me get that off you. So Bud and Errol should have a one-track mind, and that is who gonna be undisputed. That's all they should be caring about. And right now, today, that's Bud, that's Errol, and that's Ugas. Them 3 fighters that only matter. And unfortunately, Ugas is getting the fuck put to him by putting him in this box off. Because, honest to God, he could lose his belt. He could lose his belt. And the conspiracy part of it is they just really don't want Errol and Bud to be undisputed. And when I say they, I'm going to say the powers that be. When we was young, we used to call they the man. Remember, like, the man gonna get you. Whoever have enough power to interject their self into this bullshit and affect change. Whoever got that kind of power is they. They don't want Terrence to be the undisputed. I mean, that sounds too much like right. They don't want Errol to be undisputed. That sounds too much like right. We know, or we can all feel, that if Errol fought Ugas, he's going to win. We all feel that. If Terrence fought Ugas, he's going to win. And don't get me wrong, Ugas is a Cuban fighter, and what we know about Cuban fighters is that they're hard to beat. To all my Facebookers, let me stop right there. To all my Facebookers, shout out to you. I can't open it up and see your name to say anything, but shout outs to you. Won't y'all join us in the YouTube channel? Won't y'all do that? Do me a solid and come into the YouTube channel and have a say. Shout outs to Jer Holmes. She know who she is. What's up, Queen? Shout outs to her. But all your Facebookers, just come on in to the chat and let yourself be known. Or you can just call in at 706-804-4449. Oh, wait a minute. Before y'all call in, let me put that up. Oh, no, I'm slow today. The The closer we get to Christmas, man, Lord. Are y'all tired too? Are y'all exhausted out there, doing your Santa Claus thing? Trying to make sure you dot all I's and cross all T's? Her sister tired too. Ooh, paying bills. And it's funny? Every time we get close to Christmas, one of them bill collectors be acting stank-a-dank. They do. They do, because then they come up with, well, you missed this month or whatever. How the fuck I missed this month? That's what happened to me today. I was like, come on, shawty. I pay every month. How I miss this month? Well, I don't know. Well, back in the day, as I said this probably on one of the shows, but the way people make money, the way companies make money, in case some of y'all might not know, the way they make money is they make money off your fees. And I'm talking banks, and especially banks. They don't make money just because you pay them back. They don't make money on none of that shit. Like, they make their money off of you paying their fees. Them little $3, $5 fees, late charge. Nowadays, they be like $20 fees or whatever. This is how they make their money. And back in the day, when you used to have to mail your bills in, and then you have a whole room full of people who could process your payment, that the boss will come in and say, hey, everybody stop what they're doing. We're going to have a picnic today. We ain't, and they're going to have some GMTs, meaning get-togethers where they discussing stuff, future plans of the company. All the while, they're not processing any of your payments. By the time they get back to processing, you're late, because they got to stamp date it for when they do it. And they meant to do that because, you know what? They can make millions off of late fees. They love it. So you got to be careful when you pay your bills out there, because, or have your proof ready, because companies will love to hit you up with a fee. This is how they meet their bottom line. Macadocious Mac of the South. Salute, King. He says, salute the lovely and beautiful Madame Queen Miss T. Salute to you. But y'all just be careful, because I just got hit up like that. I should have been paying attention, because I know how they get down. It's just I haven't had that done to me in a while, so they caught me slipping. They gotta had it, but goddamn, I can say to everybody else, Christmas gonna be slim for y'all, because AT&T got all of it. I couldn't believe them, but I was mad today, but it happens, you know what I'm saying? But thank God I had it to give, because they, how they get to tripping and shit. I'm about sick of them, but what I'm gonna do? Some people will be like, get another carrier. I've been with them so goddamn long. The benefits and perks that I got, I ain't even trying to start over. They know I'm gonna feel that way too, so it's to their advantage. Ding ding, they are undefeated. AT&T, you undefeated. So we were talking about Keith Thurman finally getting his Christmas wish, getting something off the list that he sent to Santa, and he got his fight coming up and all that. We was talking about, the WBA ordering Ugas to fight in that box off. And I'm telling you, I don't care what nobody say. The reason that they doing that is because when Ugas participates in that box off and say he lose, now you got somebody else in the mix for the running of Undisputed. And I'm telling you, they will love for it to be Buetiv or Stanionis. They would love it. We all would love for it to be Errol or Bud, but see, that's the monkey wrench that they thrown in. What have Buetiv done more than Spence? Y'all couldn't even tell me. What has he done more than Terrence Crawford? What has either one of those guys done more in the welterweight division? You hardly even know them. The only thing you saw is Buetiv beat Jamal James. That's it. What else have they done? for them to be up at the top. But we got to make sure we get one of them up at the top. We ain't heard of these niggas in a long time. Forever. I don't know how long they've been in the division, but all of a sudden they get to rise like cream. They get to rise to the top. With the top guys, they get to be a factor. All I can say is Ugas, I hope you beat the brakes off of Stanionis. But it don't stop there. They talking about Razab and Buetev. All these people Ugas got to run through before he in the clear. So basically, they holding the WBA belt hostage. Now, I guarantee you, if Ugas lose to Stanionis, and Stanionis get the notion of, I wanna fight for the other belts, I bet you the rules get moved around. I bet you they make a way for him. I bet you they don't hit him up with the, you still got to fight in the tournament. You know what I'm saying? They are picking who they want. It's as clear as day. I don't know how anybody could not see it, but they want one of those other guys to be a factor. Instead of him being a factor because of the work he put in, they want it. Therefore, they clear a path. They make provisions. They make a way to make sure he is a factor. And that's not right. That's not right, because Ugas should have had an opportunity to make some big money and fight for unification, or even go so far as to fight for undisputed. It's his career. He's closer than he'll probably ever be. And if he lose, he won't have this chance again. Ugas is 35 years old. Time waits for no one. And this might be the end for him. So the big money paycheck that he was able to make was off this last fight with Pacquiao, who was aged out anyway and on his way to retirement. So that was it. I hope he got millions for it. I hope even in this box off they get paid. But who knows? Who knows if that's going to happen? So number two, but not for the WBA ordering Ugas to fight in this box off, he could have made a fight with Earl. Earl was ready. In fact, they was waiting on that decision that came down yesterday. If the decision would have been, okay, Ugas, you right, let me let these guys fight it out and make them mandatories for y'all. But I'm going to give you the opportunity to go fight Errol. They didn't do it. And they would have, one of them would have came away with 3 belts. We all feel or think we know that one person would have been Errol. But it's possible it could have been Ugas. You can't say Earl is a better boxer. You're better than Ugas. I mean, so then it would have to depend on other things like power, strength, how well you are conditioned. Those factors would have to play in part in deciding who will be victorious between Earl and Ugas, because we know Cuban fighters are 9 times out of 10 better boxers than most of us American fighters. They are just that good. They're bred like that. Their training is like, that's from the smallest weight classes up to the heavyweights. Cuban fighters are notoriously better boxers. So we can't give no edge to Earl because of that. Now, we've seen what Ugas did to Pacquiao eyes, but them was some 40-year-old eyes. So we don't know, but you seen what he did to his eyes. You don't think Ugas would have went after that? That's why I tell Earl he need to sit himself down till at least August. But, you know, I'm just one person. I'm just plain old TT. I'm just plain old TT. Ain't nobody listening to me. But, you know, but for them not ordering that, we could have had the Ugas and Errol fight, and we would have seen what it do. Now, if they'd have made the fight, like I said, they could have been Either one of them could have walked away with unification of 3 belts, and the next person in line would have definitely had to be Terrence Crawford. I see something in Bud, like Mikey Garcia or Whitey Garcia. I see something. Bud is playing chess. He is playing chess so smoothly. It's crazy. But I won't say what his chess moves are. I don't even know how to play chess. But I've seen people play chess, and the shit don't look that easy. It looks like you really got to strategize and think about it. But I know the difference between chess and checkers. Full transparency, I don't know how to play chess. But I know there's a difference. I know it's strategic. I know it's not that simple. And compared to checkers. And Bud has been playing chess for a long time. And when it's all said and done, I'll probably sit here and do a whole show to show y'all how he been playing chess, how he moves in these boxing streets. It's like he's making people make moves and do certain things. He's not making them. He just reads people well. Let me just say that. He reads people well. He reads the land, and he surveys everything very well. And people are not the wiser. And it's unfortunate for them. But he's playing chess. And I'm peeping it. I've been peeping it. And I'm like, okay. But I ain't one to try to speculate on something like that. If it was Earl, I wouldn't speculate on that neither. But the shit is funny. It's funny to watch. Whomever won that fight, talking about between Earl and Ugas, will go on to face Bud, and the winner would be undisputed. That quick. See how quick that is? We could have had a conclusion on who's undisputed by the end of this year. Could have, would have, should have, right? We could have had that, but we're not, because people want to insert themselves and throw monkey wrenches in what should be done and would sound too much like right. Everybody in here, smash the like button, please, and hit the subscribe button if you never did before. So it's just crazy, because Earl and Ugas could have had this fight in February, and by the end of the summer, we would have had an undisputed person at welterweight. But since the powers that be want to throw their stank on it and put their guy in there, they just muddied the water. They, and in my opinion, just really don't want an undisputed welterweight to be either Bud Crawford or Errol Spence. They just don't want it to be that. Now, I know we talk about them like they can easily beat Ugas. I'm not counting Ugas out, but the two top dogs is Errol Spence and Bud Crawford. Let's be clear with that one. But because WBA ordered this pathway that Bud and Errol can what did I say? Okay. Because my bad, I'm getting tongue tied. I'm like reading 2 sentences. But because the WBA ordered this, what it means is that Bud and Errol can start negotiations now in the fight. As I say, y'all know how I feel about Errol. Wait till the end of the summer. However, Errol gonna do what he want to do, and Errol said, "I don't need no tune-up. I'm ready to get it in now." Hey, so that means I have to go by what the man say. I can't scream it enough. I can't keep saying it enough. But it's probably falling on deaf ears. But if he wants to get in, if he says, y'all gotta take him at his word. He said, "Fuck all that. I don't need no tune-up." Now, I kind of paraphrase or put my stank on it. But basically, that's what he's saying. I don't need a tune-up. Okay. You don't need a tune-up? All right. You don't need to wait a little bit longer? Okay. Well, you want to get right into it. Terrence Crawford is going to hurt him. Terrence Crawford is going to hurt him. And I think when he's done, Earl ain't going to be fighting hardly anybody no more. because he has an injury that needs to heal. And if I was Terrence Crawford, that's where I would go to. I would be trying to damage it in such a way you ain't coming back from that. I mean, I'm not the only one who says these things. I remember a interview that Drew Titan did with Corey Spinks, and he said something to the effect like he's pretty much done, or now that's a derailment. I can't remember his exact words, but he wasn't saying, "Oh no, he gonna heal from that. He gonna be fine. He gonna come back." Then they reference Sugar Ray Leonard, but y'all forget Sugar Ray Leonard set out for 2 years. That's the part y'all leave out. That's the part y'all leave out. And I say, I know to take Earl's belts, that would be unfair. So I was saying that he needs at least a year, a full year. Full year would take him to August. If at August he still can't come back, then okay, do what y'all do, champion and recess, whatever y'all do. Because I know they itching to do that shit. They itching to do it. And that's why I was like, they don't need to mess with this stuff. This is boxing. Boxing can't get held up because of what someone doing individually. Y'all saw they took the belt from Pacquiao, and I'm sure they would do the same thing to Earl, but at least get a man 1 year. It's not like he trying to sit out forever. And at this point, if he comes back in February, that's like 6 months. That's at least 6 months. And he's being brave and saying he'll come back and all that. Hey, Errol is the real deal. He's a real deal. He is what you want your champions to be. But this is serious injury. But if he's going to fight, and now that Ugas is not on the table, there's nothing really between him and Bud getting this thing going. And if him and Bud get this thing going, Bud's going to hurt him. Y'all mark my words, Bud is going to hurt him. And like I said, they're saying, I don't need no tune-up, let's get into it. That's pride and ego talking. And it's not necessary. We already know you the real deal. We know you the real deal. You the truth. We know that. Ain't no shame in the game if you be like, yo, I'm going to give myself a year. There's no shame in the game. None to me anyway. You still the truth. Even if you did that. But we got to talk. We got to speak about it how he speaks about it. And eventually, y'all, I'm going to stop saying that about him needing to sit down for about at least a year. Because it doesn't matter how I feel. I put it on record how I feel. And after that, I'm not going to feel sorry. I know y'all like, T, the mother in you keeps saying that. Well, you don't want to see the man hurt. And maybe that's true. I don't know. I just feel like, I told you I like him as a fighter. I want to see a lot out of him. I want to see him realize his dreams and stuff like that. I'm not a hater. But I can only say that for so long. After a while, you do what you want to do. I have no sympathy for you. I have no sympathy or empathy because you're doing what you want to do. If you like it, I love it. I have to. If you like it, I have to love it, And that's the position I'm going to take. From my understanding, I guess they are in negotiation, even if it's them talking on the phone or agreeing that, hey, I guess we up next. Even if it's that small on the scale of negotiating, that they're acknowledging to each other and either setting up the meeting to start the first part of the negotiation. So hopefully we see that. We hear about something in the mix. I don't care about the money. DJ is in the building. Was popping king. Where you been, man? I know y'all got jobs. So, but yeah, even if the negotiation is on a low key level of, hey, it's just us now. Then hey, get it popping. If that's what you're gonna do, that's what you're gonna do. And like I said, I'm going to accept what another grown man said he's going to do and what he about. I'm just going to have to accept it. You know, I just really feel strong about the injury. So, but Bud is going to hurt him. Going to hurt him. Anybody he get in with is going to go for that. They may do more damage. Anybody they get in. He going to have to make sure that the whole 12 rounds, don't nobody hit him there. And he ain't going to be able to do that. That's just how I feel. In fact, Errol, Bud, and Ugas should only be attempting to face each other, not other people. No other people should even matter. But, you know, the powers that be make sure that they got their white man in the mix. Because really, we don't know who the top guys is. Because really, is Stanionis or Buatev, and then you got Bud, and you got Spitz. None of them can hold the candle to Errol and Bud. None of them. It was between 3 guys. That's it. And truth be told, Pacquiao would have got the shit beat out of him if Errol was able to make that fight. Same thing if Pacquiao would have fought Bud. He would have got the shit beat out of him. Straight up. Straight up. And that belt, you know, either one of them could go after. But, you know, like I said, all this, it's not just the fighters anymore. It's these promoters, it's these sanctioning bodies, especially interjecting themselves into the fight game way, way, way too much. Way too much. I think Errol Spence is going to fight his IBF mandatory. I'd like to see him do that so that nothing stands in the way of him fighting Bud later this year. That might be cool, but I really want Bud and him to fight. You know, and I'm willing to wait till August, but Errol ain't willing to wait. So if he ain't willing to wait, I want it to be Bud and him. I don't want nobody else fighting but them two. DJ, who is his mandatory? Like, I'm not even sure who his mandatory is. Bud's next fight should be Errol. Errol's next fight should be Bud. Now, I could understand, as I've been talking about, that Errol should, it was okay if Errol went and fought Ugas. That's cool. You just making the pot even sweeter. That's all. Shit. I would love to see either one of them become undisputed. I don't care. The fact that they are tough cookies is good enough for me. Errol is the truth. Bud is the truth. That's good enough for me. I love how they take the people's heart, like meaning their opponent's heart, in the ring. They break them down. They're relentless. They keep going. All of this stuff I love. But when you're trying to be undisputed, which that rarely happens, you really got to have tunnel vision. You really got to have it. And the world should understand. DJ said, Abdukakurov. He's been his mandatory since he fought Mikey Garcia. Yeah, I don't even know who that guy is. I have to look him up to see if he can even, if the dude is any competition. Technically, to be fair, if he's been his mandatory since Mikey Garcia, to be fair, Errol need to fight him. Being fair. So if Errol's going to fight him, then Terrence need to go ahead and knock off Virgil Ortiz. But I know a lot of people want him to fight Virgil or Boost because they're hoping he'll lose. He's not. I ain't worried about nobody else in the division. And if he do, as long as he do it trying, I really don't care. He's fighting this month, I believe. Is he? This weekend? Abduka. See, Errol is ready to fight in February, he said. So I don't know how that works. If he fighting this month, the Abdu guy, I'm going to call him Abdu. If Abdu is fighting this month, then how did he become okay to fight in February? Like, I don't know. That's a quick turnaround for Abdu. And if he is really a tomato can, I'd be like, I don't know how to feel about that. But the guy has rights, and so if it's his turn, he has rights, and he needs to be honored. And they need to treat him fair too. Uh, but like I said, I'm being kind of selfish in what I want the next fight that I want to see either one of them in. I don't care about. Really, I can't allow myself to care about them. I'm gonna say it like that. Them fighting other people, but fair is fair. If Errol's gonna fight a mandatory, then Bud, you need to go ahead and knock down your mandatory. You need to go ahead and do that. Michael Fuller is in the building with Poppy King. If Errol takes that mandatory, then Crawford needs to get that Ugas fight for the WBO belt. Then it's got to be 50-50 negotiations and no more 60-40 BS stalling games. That would be cool, Michael, but Crawford got, I think you meant WBA belt. I think I know what you mean, player. But Crawford got the WBO and Ugas got the WBA. But the decision came down yesterday, you guys, that they still going to make Ugas fight in that box off. So providing Ugas gets through Stanionis and then Buatav, and then they threw another name up in there, Razav. So that WBA belt is probably not even going to be available all next year, which is sad. Which is sad because in this case, Earl and Crawford should petition the WBA together. This is some bullshit. Never have you seen this. This man is a bona fide champion talking about Ugas, and he don't even get to get his big money fight or get his just due or even go be unified or anything. He's getting denied that shit. Nobody else is going through that. Because Buatav and Stanionis is going to give him tough fights. Can he win? I hope he can. I hope he can, but shit. It has to happen right now. So them guys are freakishly strong. Like, you gotta wonder, do they take the tea too? Are they sipping on that tea too? Again, we have an opportunity to unify this division. So why are people throwing monkey wrenches in the way? And that's how I see them doing it right now. They're throwing monkey wrenches. They probably really do not want Earl or Bud to get it, and it's almost like however the chips may fall, it's possible that one of those other guys we don't even know about sneak in through the back door and stand victorious over both Earl and Bud. We just never know. If Bud go in there and demolish Earl, and then Bud go up against one of these white dudes or whatever that they trying to throw in and lose, then everybody gonna be like, he the hot ticket out. You know what the narrative gonna be. Same thing. If Earl go in there and demolish Bud, and he comes out victorious and they throw this white guy in, these guys are freakishly strong. You have to wonder, do they hang with Canelo? Michael Fuller said, okay, unify the WBO and WBA titles and then fight Earl for undisputed. Michael Fuller, that sounds too much like right. They're not going to do it, though. They not ready to put the smackdown on Ugas or put the fuck to him because he has to fight Stanionis. So he has to remain in this box off. So they already dogging the dude out. And I'm telling you, that would have been a cool fight, him and Earl. That would have been a cool fight. And I'm going to practice right now. My instinct was to say, Earl, just wait till August. But I'm going to stop saying, you guys, I'm going to try my best. Be like, Miss T now, Miss T. Y'all got to get me back on the train rail. I'm going to try my best to stop thinking of Earl like, Earl, please just wait and heal. Because Earl is a grown man, and he say he ready. I got to take it. I have to accept it. But that would have been a good fight between him and Ugas. That would have been a good fight. And what would have happened? Earl would have got another belt, which I would be happy and elated for. Because I know all roads lead to him and Terrence facing out. And Earl, to me, that was a smart move, a chess move as well. Because they really, it's like Ugas was begging for people to help him, to speak out for him, and all that, people with some clout. Nobody did. Remember when it was first going down? Nobody spoke up for him. Nobody came to his rescue. And now Earl, not saying that Earl had to. It won't just, we shouldn't just expect that only Earl could come out and say nothing. But it should have been Earl, Terrence. It should have been all those top contenders. Like, wait a minute, yo, don't do that to that dude. Please don't do it. I wouldn't like you if you did it to me. So, but now that Earl, he see the importance of, it's almost like everybody's Johnny come lately, seeing the importance that Ugas was trying to scream about before this stuff hopped off. He was trying to told us. He tried to told you. But nobody was listening. And now Earl, he gets the notion, he said, wait a minute. They need to let me and him fight. And you want to put him in the box off after that. Let me get that belt up off you. It's like a sweepstakes for the belt. He won the belt legitimately, beating a Hall of Famer. And you gonna put this man in a box off? That's so fucked up. You said, no, we don't want Earl to get the WBA unless you want more negotiation problems. Earl with 3 of the belts may push 70-30, and Terrence is not going to fight for that. Here's the thing. I love Terrence to death. I do. Y'all know that's my boy. I told myself, so I don't get crazy with this, with the back and forth. I feel you, Michael Fuller. But I told myself, I ain't going to worry about what these men making. They ain't cutting me a check. If Terrence want to prove something, which it seems like he do, he would take the 20. He would take the 20. I wouldn't care. He could say, no, look, it's 40, 60-40, or it's 50-50. Neither one of them should care. You know how much money they talking? They talking a lot. But for us to get involved and start saying what we say, because we got to be careful. These are both egotistical men. So all of us as fans and anybody close to them, we got to be careful how we talk about it, because we don't do nothing but challenge their ego and pride. And, it's all downhill. I'm just going to say this, and I'm sorry, man, but I just feel that it's true. When you challenge a man's ego and pride, nothing good can come from that. It's just not good. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, that is y'all weakest part about y'all to me, is that y'all can be easily swayed or detour off the path over your pride or your ego. Don't bruise it. I mean, shit. It's almost like some guys, you got to walk on eggshells around their pride and ego. So Earl and Bud is no different. Both of them are egotistical. So for us to weigh in on the money as if we are part of the negotiation team, I don't want to do that. Y'all can do it. I'm not telling y'all can't, because I know it's a part of the game. I'm saying I am not going to do it, because so for me, it don't matter. All I care about is y'all getting in the ring. That's all I'm going to look at it. Y'all both say y'all want to be undisputed. Y'all both say y'all the shit. That's all I'm going to be looking at. Will you get in the ring? That's it. If you don't, it's going to be disappointing to me. But if you don't, because negotiations didn't go like you needed, and the money and all that, I ain't got nothing to say about it. Either way, if Earl was like, nah, you got to take, I'm going to get 90-10, and Terrence be like, nah, I can't do that. Earl be like, well, fuck it then. I don't want, I mean, I'm not going to go back and be like, damn, dude, what's wrong with 60-40? Why you just couldn't be happy with 7-30? I'm not questioning that. Grown men handling their fucking money shit, and they ain't cutting me a check, so fuck them. Both of them. I say that for grown women too. That goes both ways, y'all. Just in case. Cause we do got some chauvinistic dudes in the world. And I ain't saying my guest star, but just, just to be clear, stay away from the wine bottles. You said, Michael said, I don't care what they make either. Terrence is a HOF fight, a Hall of Famer, okay? He has pride. He is not going to take that type of split. That's degrading. It's not. I don't know, Fuller. Again, this is men's Achilles heel. This is the problem with y'all men. This is the problem. 10% of 100 million, fuck, run that. Because I don't see Terrence like that. I see that he's egotistical, but when it just actually comes to money, the man know what he's doing. We all laughed and golfed at the fact that he was taking $3 and $4 million a fight. Everybody want to say he fighting tomato cans. Well, fuck it. He getting rich from fighting tomato cans. Y'all know Terrence is a hell of a fighter. Y'all know that. But that's all people say. You were Bob. You only getting paid 3 and 4. You ain't getting the 15 million paycheck. But then by the end of the year, the nigga made over that, right? Didn't he make over that? So, coming from where he came from, he was satisfied. Michael said Terrence Crawford is a Hall of Fame fighter. Indeed, he is. He is. That's why I say I'm not gonna get caught up in their back and forth over money. Over money. Like I said, 10% of 100 million. Somebody do that math. I ain't finna count shit. I don't know what it is. I could take a guess. I'll be like, no, stupid. I know it's millions. What? 10 million or something? I don't know. Something like that. That would 10% of 100 million is the biggest paycheck Terrence Crawford ever got. I understand that don't look good, but if Earl wants to be undisputed, he wouldn't do that to him. If you know you're dealing with an egotistical person, you wouldn't even come at them sideways like that neither. Because it don't matter what their percentage is, it will be the biggest paycheck either one of them have ever had in their entire career. That's just a massive fight. So it didn't bother me that Earl said he wanted to fight Ugas and get that belt off him. Obviously, it didn't bother Terrence neither. I'm telling y'all, Terrence is playing chess. Y'all not seeing it. He's playing chess. But I say, Earl, Bud, and Ugas should be the only 3 people that matter at this point today. Once Ugas do his first fight in that box off, he's off the table. They gonna hold that fucking WBA belt hostage. Ugas gonna have to go in there and beat the dog shit out of all of them. Everything depends on it. Ugas, if you listen, you can be still a factor. You can be, like if you go through this tournament, beat the dog shit out of everybody, make it through that, and then come back and fight Earl or whoever. Earl or Terrence. Come back and fight him, and then fucking that's gonna be $1 million payday. I'm sure you're gonna be making money as you're in this box off. You can make millions, and then hope it depends. You have an opportunity after you go through the whole thing with either Earl or Terrence. Then you can retire as a millionaire. But your toughest part of this journey, Ugas, is going to be in this box off. Because it's put together so you can lose. And you got to show them differently. Michael Fuller said, my point in all of this is that if Crawford can unify the WBA, WBO, then it's 50-50 split. Yeah, I agree. No debate. Yep. That way the fight can happen without any more BS stalling. Yeah, it could. But that it's too much. It's too much what ifs, or it's too much hopefully in this will happen or that will happen. Earl and Ugas have established a relationship as far as negotiating to fight each other. If Ugas gets set free, he's going to go to Earl. There's nothing Terrence can do about it. There's nothing he could do about it. Ugas could have, maybe he felt like maybe Earl been talking to Ugas all along. Just, casually, like, hey, it'd be nice for me and you to chop it up. Look, we gonna bring millions. That's what I'm saying. If Earl wants to go into the fight where he got the 80-20, that's Earl. I'm not mad at that. Honestly, I can't allow myself, Michael, I feel you what you're saying, but at this point, I can't allow myself to even be concerned with it because it ain't gonna make no hill of beans. You know what I'm saying? Again, that's when the water gets muddy when you start throwing men's ego and pride. You guys derail yourselves. Now there might be some guys that have that shit in check, but I'm telling you, from the outside looking in, as a woman, we see this about y'all men. Y'all get caught up in some shit that y'all don't even have to or need to get caught up all over your ego and pride. We normally refer to it like, I know I've referred to it like a dick swinging contest. I'm not here for that. Not with them two. I'm not here for that. Michael Fuller said he makes more money with Earl than he will with Crawford. That might be true. Earl has shown that he has his own production, promotional company. He knows how to strike deals, and he knows how to make the money for himself. But them two. This is how I look at it. Earl might be in the driver's seat on a lot of things and all that, but Earl do mess up. He do step in the poo poo. He steps in it, and Terrence might seem whack or off to y'all, but he doesn't mess up. And when I'm saying mess up, meaning it does matter what goes on outside the ring to a certain extent. Like, let's say you get arrested. Well, you can't fight a fight from the jail cell. You can't. So whatever that you was doing that got you arrested, that's what I mean by you stepped in some poo-poo. You know what I'm saying? So whatever that something is, and as y'all see, I'm trying to talk around it because it ain't my business. I know y'all, some people might be like, well, you can't say it, T. Miss T. Don't care about none of that. I want to judge you for what you do in the ring. That's all. Michael said, you think like the women that you are. Michael, I love you. You said you think like the women that you are. Men, we count money like we count our pride. It is about percentages and splits. If you are a champion, you don't accept 730 from another champion. And that is y'all downfall, Michael, as men. Sometimes it's necessary to do that, and sometimes it's not. This fight, everybody's going to make money. Everybody's going to make money. You know what I'm saying? Look at the Floyd and Pacquiao fight. Floyd made a lot of money in that fight. He was guaranteed a purse, I think, of $100 million. $100 fucking million. Who else is gonna do that? Pacquiao was not guaranteed a purse that high, but he was guaranteed a purse as high as probably 30-something or 40-something million. But on the back end, I think Floyd made something close to $500 million. Just on that fight. And Pacquiao eventually made over $100 million. Just on one fight. This is why I say it doesn't matter, y'all. It does in this situation. It don't. I can see you talking about a Tank and Isaac Cruz. If you're talking money like that, yeah, that matters. They're not making that kind of money though. They're not making that kind of big money. Earl and Bud is easily $100 million fight. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them. That's what has to be learned. If we use the Pacquiao and Floyd fight again as an example, Pacquiao by himself, being the big fish on the card, didn't make shit. He didn't make a lot. He didn't sell a lot. Hell, Earl got damn near better numbers than Pacquiao did when Pacquiao would fight by himself. That Macau or wherever the fuck he went overseas, he wasn't making nothing. It's not a, well, I'm gonna say this is why I say love you, Michael. When you say you think like a woman, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to do, but it doesn't mean that women will always be right or men will always be right. You have to know when to hold them and fold them. In the Pacquiao Floyd fight, it didn't matter. I would not have quivered with the money, even though they did, but it wasn't an issue to the point that the fans had to speak on it because they knew what time it was. They knew Pacquiao knew. Even if Floyd gave him 10%, it's more money than he ever made. Pacquiao knew that. So he won't trip him. I don't even remember the split. I don't remember the split. But I remember Floyd trying to make the fight earlier, saying something like, yeah, it could be 50-50. It could be 60-40. I mean, I remember that type stuff. But the actual fight, I don't know the split. Michael Fuller said, last point on this, it's not about the amount. It's about the percentage. The split 90-10, Earl gets 90 million and Crawford gets 10 million. I call BS on that. Yeah. And guess what else going to come out of that? Earl's reputation is going to take a nosedive. Y'all think you think his ego and pride going to let that happen? Earl is not going to go a 90-10. He may even do 70-30, but I think Earl will probably do 60-40. And I think Terrence will take that because once Terrence, become victorious over Errol Spence, then what everybody going to say? 40% is going to be a hell of a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Terrence Crawford after that wouldn't have to fight another day in his life. Errol Spence after that wouldn't have to fight another day in their life. Ever. You know what I'm saying? So, I understand what you're saying though, Michael. I'm just saying at this point, if those guys are listening, this is one of them areas to me where y'all derail yourself as men over ego and pride. You derail yourself. It's a win-win. Them two fighting is a win-win. And so they kind of derail themselves, if they get into the weeds of that. But it was I was talking about this under the guys of Keith Thurman. So Keith wants in, and that's another thing. Keith wants in. He's a big money fight too. He wants in. So do Virgil. So do Boots. Whomever becomes the victor of this box off, they also want in. This shit, they know what they doing. They building this shit up. It's bigger than Earl and it's bigger than Terrence at this point. It's bigger than them. It's bigger than Keith. Everybody know whoever get on this train is gonna make probably more money than they ever did before. Talking like in the box off, being the last holdout. The WBA want that leverage so goddamn bad. You know what I'm saying? Just think about it. What I tell y'all about the sanctioning fees yesterday and how everybody got to pay them. So if Terrence and Arrow get the fight, and they fight, and then the holdout is the WBA, right? So now that the WBA is involved, you know how much money that they gotta pay him. Talking about the WBA per se, that's a lot of money. They're not gonna pay the minimum payment. They're not gonna pay what a Isaac Cruz would have had to pay, because I told y'all it is based on how much they make. See what I'm saying? The the monkey wrench is being thrown in. You know, the sanctioning bodies act like they are an actual fighter in the ring. They doing what they can to disrupt some shit so everybody can make money. If the WBA is the last belt to retrieve, shit, they winning. They winning big time. So that's what it's all about. It's pretty much bigger than Nino. You know, it just really is. And for me, I hope that they come to an agreement. I hope that they can respect each other. I think Earl will hand out the respect. I think he will be like, yo, it's 60-40. I got 2 belts. You can't really argue with that. Well, 70-30. I got 2 belts. You can't argue with that. I think Earl will be respected. You know, and Terrence can either take it or not. Michael Fuller say the value of having Keith Thurman in the mix is that he can sell and promote the fight like no one else in the welterweight division. I agree. He's big money. Keith is gonna bring money and eyes to the Wisconsin. He's a face that the powers that be, as I always used to say, he's appeasing to the eye. He's a face that they can relax and get through. To look at Earl and Terrence is a bridge too far for some of those powers that be. That's why they doing what they doing with the WBA. They got to get the right, for the protection. They got to get the right complexion that they can deal with, that they want to see. And that's why all the tomfoolery is starting to happen. So for us as fans to get caught up in, that extra stuff we don't have nothing to do with, we just got to be careful. I just feel like we got to be careful. Michael Fuller said he has practiced verbally pitching and selling his fights. Yeah, Keith will get on there. You know what, Keith is an asset, because Keith will have a lot of people who hate him. And if you got a lot of people who hate you, this is how Floyd made his bread and butter. A lot of people hated him enough that they would pay money to see him lose. And then you had the fans who liked him or loved him so much that paid to see him win. And either way, you're paying. Money is money. Green is green. Green doesn't have no final destination, and Floyd capitalized off of that. Floyd saw the racist shit. He saw it. He called it for what it was. He tried to anyway. Nobody was listening, so Floyd capitalized on it. And hey, shout out to Floyd for that. Having the fortitude to see what time it really was and capitalize it. And nobody can be more egotistical and have pride than Floyd. Like, damn, that nigga got in abundance. But Floyd knew that being the black man that he is, that people will move heaven and earth. See, this is what I think they were doing to Floyd. In the beginning part of Floyd's career, I think that Bob was purposely throwing him in there with monsters to make sure you dampen his career. Like, they knew he was the goods. They knew he was okay. They knew they could make some money off of him. He would be good for an undercard to make the guy that they love, which was Oscar or whoever else, look good by putting Floyd on the undercard. So like, if you went to an Oscar fight, you'd be like, man, I thoroughly enjoyed myself. It was some great fights up and down. He was used as a pawn. So they put him in predicaments where he could lose. But Floyd, that shit backfired on them. Floyd was like, oh no, I see y'all doing this to me, but I'll raise you one, and I'm gonna beat everybody ass to their draws fall off. I'm gonna beat the dog shit out of them, and that's what Floyd did. So they was like, I'm sure they try to put him in harm's way. It wasn't no cakewalk for Floyd, but that shit backfired. Here's a little story. This is what I mean by when people throwing monkey wrenches in your shit and trying to get you off your square. Okay. It is a fact that we have an opioid epidemic here in America. We have a lot of people who suffer from addiction to that drug. Most of them, probably over 90% of them, are addicted to it by way of prescribed drugs. So they saw a doctor. The doctor agreed with whatever ailment or problem they had, and he prescribed them the opioid drug, right? But here's the thing. Not only if you track the drug, you can see it was concentrated in certain areas. You can see, like, was it, I want to get the state right, West Virginia or Kentucky, one of them damn states where it's probably more white people. It was a heavy, distribution of that shit, right? But also, every black person of a considerable age that's watching or out there in America have probably experienced this and didn't even know it. So you go in for a surgery, or you hurt, or you got some kind of acute problem, a chronic problem, and you ask for medicine to help you with the pain. And what the fuck do they give you? They give you some goddamn Motrin. Am I lying? They give you some goddamn Motrin, and they could give you 400 milligrams, or a lot of times they give you 800. Well, Motrin is not good all the time. Motrin thins the blood, and some people with like heart conditions or whatever, they need to know that. Motrin also can be pointed to as a reason why people have a lot of calcium deposits in their lungs, liver, this, that, and the other. Now y'all were like, Miss T, make this connect. I'm gonna show you how. My point is, they gave us Motrin, and they did it by design. It's almost like, for real, there's a lot of people out there, and I'm saying white, I'm not being racist about it, but they just don't believe that we have the issues that we have. They just don't believe it. So even when you come to the doctor and you say, I'm in a lot of pain, they don't give you the serious drugs that you need. I had a serious operation where they cut me in my stomach, and they barely gave me some pain medicine. But to the person that they do that to, I seen this in a movie. Somebody said pain lets you know that you're still alive. And I said, wow, what a profound statement. Because that's true. It is absolutely true. If you have pain, you're still there. You're still there all the way. When you stop feeling pain is when you need to worry. So what are you inadvertently doing? You're training a lot of people that you really don't give no value to how to deal with pain with less. You're training them how to deal with less. And you're pacifying the ones that you favor, i.e. the white people with the serious drugs, because you just give them that. Fast forward 5-10 years, you think you're doing it, but the reason you're doing it is to hurt us, or because you give no value to us, so you don't give a shit about us. You have no sympathy, you have no empathy. So you're kind of doing it in a way that's showing how you devalue us, because you're not giving us the credence, or you're not giving us no serious consideration. You don't care if we're in pain, but you made them junkies because they were the creme de la creme to you, and you made them junkies, and you hurt them in the long run. See how that warped thinking, that warped thinking of you throwing a monkey wrench in something, you trying to do one thing, but the shit gonna backfire on you. And that's how I see this problem too. You trying to do something, you trying to get your white fighter out there, but how do you know that Ugas is not gonna go through and seriously hurt one of these guys? How you know? It's gonna backfire on you. In the end of the day, it's gonna be Earl or Bud anyway. So you did all this for nothing. I don't know if anybody else can see it like that, but that's how I see it. That's what my brain be saying to myself. It's typical shit. Tone Brown is in the building, was popping king. He said Cody Crawley gonna beat the IBF mandatory on Saturday, and Barrios upsets Thurman. I got Thurman beating Barrios. They both coming in there crippled. They both coming in there with their hands behind their back. I don't know who Cody Crawley is. You said on Saturday. Okay. Okay, but I got Thurman. I think it's gonna come back to him. I don't really see Barrios fitting into that weight division, but maybe I have to look at him differently when he gets on the stage. Maybe he have outgrown the 140 division, but I'll see when he gets in there. But yeah, this is what they're doing. They do stuff to affect something one way, and then it backfires on them. And I use that analogy to say they do it all the time. This is always the case, that people throw monkey wrenches and do certain things, but then it backfire. Talk about case in point, Isaac Cruz and Tank Davis this past Saturday night. Tank was supposed to wash through Rolly. He's supposed to wash through whoever he fight. As they say, he's the star. He's better than all these guys. As he said, I'm the top dog. But you didn't wash through Isaac Cruz. And you say you knew about him. You say you knew about him. Devin Haney dad said today he knew about Isaac Cruz. But I was wondering why anybody plucked Isaac Cruz up and gave him an opportunity. Isaac Cruz had to make it the old-fashioned way. He had to start from the bottom, and now he's here. But Tank was smiling. Y'all saw Tank before the show. Tank thought this was really going to be a cakewalk. But he says he hurt his hand, and that's why it couldn't be with a normal Tank event. When he said he hurt his hand in 6 rounds, a normal Tank event gets you out of there within the first couple of rounds. They cherry pick. That's what happened. And they ran up on some shit. They had to cherry pick a good fighter, like a good one. But they ran up on some shit. Because they did not expect Isaac Cruz to show up like he did. I fully thought he would. Only thing I did think is that Isaac Cruz could crumble under the lights. I've watched damn near all his fights that he had in the States. And I was like, this dude is something special. I was the one repping him and advocating and all that stuff. And everybody was laughing. I'm his T, there you go, whatever. Some of y'all was like, oh, y'all went back and watched him. It's like, oh, it might be something to that. But you can tell that they didn't take him that serious. I'm talking about Tank and his crew. They didn't take him that serious. I'm not going to say they overlooked him, but they didn't take him that serious. I showed y'all the clip of when the announcer was ready to announce the fight. That wasn't a look of, I got this. It's in the bag. I know I won this shit. That wasn't a look that Tank and his crew was giving us at the end of the fight. It was a nail biting look, like, I don't know which way it's going to go. Two of the judges had it close. Look at the poll at the end of the fight. You meant to do something and it backfired on you. You wanted a fighter that could fight good, but you felt no special effects. All he do is come forward. You know what? I see his flaws too. I can hear Mayweather. He ain't no special effects. He just come forward fighter. He can't do nothing. He's not a real boxer. I can hear that. But I'm gonna tell you, not only did Tank dig in, take it to another level, and Tank looked spectacular at times when he wanted to box him, but Cruz, having watched him before, he also showed me that he can box a little. Because I seen some feints, I seen some different things he was doing. And did Tank get to him? Yeah, because I've never seen Cruz slow down. And he actually slowed down, y'all. Y'all go back and look at his other fights. Motherfucker is relentless. He had to think about some shit fucking with Tank. Tank had to think about some shit because he couldn't easily just win over this guy. But it almost backfired. But it kind of did backfire. Even though Tank got the win, it still kind of backfired. Because there's a lot of people looking like, damn, all I got to do is show Tank that I can take his punch. If I'm a better boxer, Tank is just a man. He can lose. He barely won. You look at the poll, the people calling in, meaning not the audience, the people looking at the fight at home. I don't know how many people participated in the poll, but I'm sure it was thousands. 44% said he won. 56% said he didn't. And how I count to 56%, because yes, 36% said that Cruz won. 20% said it was a draw. That's 20% saying that Tank didn't win. So you put the 20% with the 36%, that's 56%. Said the Tank didn't win. And Floyd, no matter how much they want to, Floyd, Tank, or any of them, and I'm not talking bad about them, no matter how bad they want to, you cannot take that out of people's memory. You cannot take that out their mind. He got exposed. So you tried to do one thing, and it kind of backfired on you. Now, maybe Tank could have disposed of Rolly real quick. Rolly don't think so, but maybe he could have. We don't know. Isaac does lean forward, and I know they saw that because I saw that before they even announced that they would fight him. I used to look at him fight and say, why don't nobody uppercut his ass? Because that head is always there for the serious uppercut, and put his ass to sleep. And now I look at him and say, many have tried, but they realized they was hitting the brick. Tank said he hit his head and broke his hand. That's what he's saying. Rolly said it was the elbow. Calvin Ford said his hand was already hurt before they came in there. So it could have been anything that would have broke his hand. None of that matters. You picked them for a reason. You thought it was going to go one way, and it backfired. You know, doctors being funny, giving certain drugs to help you to only one group of people, but you made junkies out of them. It backfired. And so that's all I was saying. All this talk, Keith, you've been begging for a fight. Now you got Barrios. If you lose, then what? That ain't the end of the world. Keith is a boxer. He wanted a fight. What Barrios was like, well, fuck yeah, I'll fight you. I'll be your huckleberry. So in Keith's situation, he's a boxer. He wants to fight. I don't think there's no hidden agenda. He called out Earl. He called out Bud. He calling out everybody. And it's falling on deaf ears because a lot of times, Keith, you do certain things and you don't follow through. So I'm not mad at how people see you. I personally am not mad at you. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. But this monkey wrench that they trying to throw in the way of Earl and Bud is just crazy. The WBA wants somebody else into contention. Why are you upset, WBA? Because two black guys are at the top of the game in the welterweight division. I have to say it like that. I don't want to have to say it like that, but you make me say it like that with the people you trying to put in the box off. The fact that you even put Ugason in. Undisputed is a pathway that's open to Ugas, Bud, and Errol as of today. It's open to them three. And all the other fighters in the welterweight division, we don't need to worry about them. They need to stay focused on their shit. They need to have tunnel vision as if they was in the Olympics. It's up to them three. Now we're going to throw somebody else on the Barbie. Who people we never really heard of except outside of this box off. Hey, while y'all in here, smash the like button and hit the subscribe button if you never, ever subscribe. For my Facebook, it's going to hit that subscribe button. Come into the YouTube channel, hit the like and subscribe. Help a sister out, get her subs up. So we're going to move on. We're going to talk about George Kambosos. He is now home in Australia. I'm thinking everybody see that. And what we was waiting on to see if his rhetoric matched with the rhetoric that he was speaking of in the States. He's home now. Let's see what he got to say. And for the most part, he's still singing the same tune. So I ain't mad at him. He putting some extra on it though. He's saying that he wants Haney, Tank, Ryan, and Loma. He didn't never really say which order he wants them in. He's just saying, I want them. Now, oddly enough, like I said, he didn't specify since he been adding these extra opponents that he want. But out of all the ones that I just named, because those were he named, he feels and he knows. I ain't say I feel and I know. We talking about George Kambosos. Feels and he knows that Haney is his easiest opponent. Ain't that strange? He said Haney will be his easiest opponent. He is, when I told y'all, when the Haney fight was over and Haney in the background was walking out the ring down the little steps, George was talking to those other three guys, the commentators. And they was like, do you see any holes or something in his armor? And I'm paraphrasing him. And he said, oh, yes, a lot. A lot. And I was like, I've also told y'all that T.O., we didn't get the whole T.O. We didn't get the whole T.O. And there's no excuses. T.O. should not have been in the ring that night. But they got that ego and pride. I mean, he almost lost his life. And that's serious enough for me to factor in for fights in the future with T.O. Coulda, woulda, shoulda for this fight. No excuses. But because I could stand up here and say he shouldn't have fought. He shouldn't have did this. This is why he lost. T.O., we know what was have been the proper move. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Fight over. But in my head, I still can say, you ain't get the whole T.O. Therefore, Kambosos, you really, in my mind, cannot beat T.O. And in my mind, not only do Tank... Hold on, I'm going to read it because I actually wrote it down. Like, I ain't even going to try to say it off the cuff of my head. Like I said, he thinks that Haney is the easiest out of all of them. But out of fairness, it dictates that Haney should get that fight first before he consider anybody else. Out of fairness, that's Tank fight to be had. Out of fairness. And a fight with Devin would decide who's undisputed. And that should be the goal. That should be the goal for any fighter out there in any division. If you have the opportunity to get undisputed and you don't take it, I got to look at you sideways. It would be the most logical step. And if you saying Haney is the easiest, then hell, that makes it even more logical and that much more easy to do, because the Haneys want that fight. You say you want it, and it should be done. But let's keep it real. Like I said, Kambosos, in my opinion, will lose his belts. He would lose them really fast too, unless outside forces are involved, like your ref or your or your judges or something like that. He's not gonna hold those belts too long. And so, unless the ref cheats or the judges cheat, Kambosos, you can't contend with these lightweights, these top lightweights. And I'm gonna tell you, Haney will outbox you. Period. He'll outbox you to the point you want to quit. I don't think that Haney got power, but as somebody else has said, if you wiping these guys' ass, with just outboxing them, don't change that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But Haney will outbox him. Period. Tank will hurt him. And we see that Tank can box and flip corners and do all kinds of special effects. But Tank will hurt him. Period. He will hurt him. And Ryan, as much as I talk shit about Ryan, Ryan is tall. And Ryan is quick. And one good attribute in boxing is speed. Now, I ain't gonna say Ryan sucked with his feet movement, or he's that great with his feet movement, but I mean, he can box. He's quick, and he can hit you real hard. He can hit you. So if Ryan could catch him because of the speed and sleep him, that's all I give Ryan. But Ryan, until you prove that you're a real boxer, I can't take you seriously. And they only bring him up because, real talk, Ryan can bring money to the fight. He's more of a person. He's catchy. It's appeasing to the eye, so to speak. He's catchy, and they will market him because they say he's a big YouTube star. So maybe he could get people like his followers to come to the seats. Loma Chico, that is, will matrix him. That's all. He will matrix him, meaning he will not outbox you. He'll make you look silly, George. He'll make you look silly, and you pretty much, I don't see how you could win under those circumstances. Again, you won fair and square. The night was the night. T.O. wasn't up to snuff. Going forward, if you had rematched T.O. Fimo, he will wash your ass. But T.O., you dropped the ball. If you did have COVID, this is another thing. We all believe that T.O. might not have had COVID back then. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but we all are under the notion that he might not have had it. So you postponing the fight was a bad thing. It backfired on you. Not only did you lose when you did fight, but look how much money y'all was going to make had you just went on and fought. Who cares if anybody showed up to your fight? The contract said Triller had to pay you. See what I mean by your ego and your fucking pride derails you? Why was you worried about ticket sales? I wouldn't have gave 2 fucks. I would have looked in the escrow account and be like, my money right there. Bet. It's like double what you ever made. And then once you made that kind of pay, every time you fight after that, they got to pay you like that or more. You hurt yourself. But we still don't know if you had COVID. And if you didn't have COVID, then this whole ordeal backfire on your ass. It backfired. That's what I mean by throwing monkey wrenches and shit. This was also what I mean by letting your ego and your pride get in the way. You make stupid decisions. Y'all say women are emotional. Y'all always say that. And I say y'all because most of the people who watch me are men. I'm not knocking y'all, but y'all always say that we are emotional. And y'all rightly see that when you emotional, you don't make the best decisions. But I submit to you that men are just as emotional. And it falls under the realm of ego and pride. A lot of men have fell short, didn't do what they need to do because of their ego and pride. The boxing section is in the building. Salute to you, King. He says salute to Miss T. A lot of men lose out on a lot of shit because their ego and their pride. I'm old enough to have seen this in works. It happens all the time. I don't expect a young man who's 20 or 21 to pick up on this and see that shit. But any guy that's in their 30s or 40s or older, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And y'all do alter the course that you normally would have went on because you learn lessons. You learn some valuable lessons about, letting your pride and your ego get the best of you and shit. T.O. ego got the best of him. And it derailed his ass. It derailed him. Everything he was trying to do, it backfired. He got less money. He's not as relevant. He lost the fight. And he almost died. Even before the fight. He was in a precarious situation with his health. I'd call it superstition too. Because if you didn't have COVID, which we know COVID be killing folks, why would you use that as an excuse? Like when I used to try to get out of classes or lie to get out of work or whatever, we all do it. Hey, I'm no different. I would never use an excuse like my dad died or my mom died. I don't play around with shit like that. I'm superstitious in that respect. I don't play around because when you play around like that, you spoke it. You spoke it and it could come around. You claimed you had COVID, T.O. We don't have proof of that. COVID can kill you. But you did have, let me try to say this word, pneumomediasternum or sternum. However you pronounce that long ass word, you did wind up having that. And that could have killed you. So if you was lying about the COVID and turn around and really had something later that could have killed you, see, this is why I don't play with that type shit. You know what I'm saying? You threw a monkey wrench in the shit off of your ego and pride because, it was put out that y'all won't sell it. But instead of looking at it like, I don't care if one person show up. I don't care if they gave all the tickets away for free. What's in that escrow for me? Oh, $4 million or so? I'm going to go ahead and fight this guy and get my money and keep it pushing. Tomorrow is another day. You understand what I'm saying? But his ego got in the way. And that's why I be talking, when I'm talking about the Earl and Bud fight, don't let our egos get in the way. That's something y'all guys do mostly. And I'm not male bashing. Just like how y'all get on there and be like, these bitches and this, that, and the other. I don't take offense. So I hope ain't nobody listening taking offense. Get out your feelings if you are. This is a problem that y'all men have uniquely to y'all. Y'all have this problem. That y'all let your egos get in the way. Bud got this problem. Earl got this problem. I don't need no tune-up. Earl, you need a motherfucking tune-up. Okay? You gonna get in there with Terrence Crawford, a monster, and now that Ugas is going to have to stay in this box out. Now you and Terrence probably behind the scenes now are negotiating a fight. You say you ready in February. Maybe the fight will go down in March. Whoever you fight, whether it's turns or tune-up, they going for the eyes. We're going to see how bad they really are. Do I think that you just going to totally lay over and lose? No. But your ego is getting in the way. That's what's happening right now. And y'all mark my words, y'all going to see. Y'all going to see. That is something that I think y'all men need to fix. You need to fix your ego. Or learn when to hold them and learn when to fold them. Learn when to walk away. And learn when to fuck to run. Y'all need to learn that. So, when we talking about Kambosos, I told y'all, Haney will outbox him. Tank will hurt him. Ryan is so fast he could catch him. And Loma would just outmatrix him. Kambosos is no competition for the lightweights, the top lightweights for real, Fred. He is not. As of note, a healthy T.O. will destroy him. Cruz will destroy him the way he fight, and Rolly may catch him and destroy him or hurt him. That's possible with Rolly with anybody. If he's interested in milking it, a fight with Jojo Diaz will be a good start. I'm not repping for Jojo Diaz. I'm just saying it's possible that George Kambosos can get over there and decide to milk his belts. Milk his opportunity, because I'm saying as quickly as he got him, as quickly as he going to lose him. Devin going to unass them belts off him. The fair and logical choice to be next is Devin Haney. I don't want to hear nothing about no Tank, no anybody else. That is the logical choice. That is the fair choice. But if you don't go that way, and he looking at the list of the other top lightweights, they all beat you in my book. They will all beat you. And I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I will come back and say I'm wrong. But I got the top welterweights beating them. I mean, of course, welterweights. Lightweights, I stand corrected. I got the top lightweights beating Kambosos. But it's Devin's turn. If we're going to play fair, it's Devin's turn. But people are in his ear to tell him to milk it. And this is my prediction, y'all. He's going to milk it. He's going to either milk it by claiming he want to fight Jojo Diaz or somebody on that level. Somebody who is a competition, but not quite. He'll fight Jojo Diaz because he'll think that Jojo is not that hard to beat. Or he's going to fight people from Australia and hold the belts hostage. I just really believe he's about to milk it. That's what I believe. Because there's too much hesitation going on. But fair is fair, and it's Devin. And if it's not Devin, then Devin should say, fuck all these lightweights and move up to 140. He should say, fuck them, and just move. The problem is Devin can face this shit right at 140. But I think he gets to challenge Josh Taylor, at least for the WBC belt, if he moves up. I said it during and after the fight with T.O. that T.O. is not himself. I said that then, and now we know why. It is no excuse, so we clear. It is no excuse. I'm just using it as a factor going forward. Now that we know that T.O. was on his deathbed, pretty much. When T.O. gets better and get his mind right, T.O. is going to be a force to be reckoned with again. I predict that George Kambosos is going to milk it. But out of all the fighters that I just mentioned, because those are ones that George put on the chopping blocks, he really believes, or he knows to himself, that Devin is the easiest fight. That's what he said. It's not Miss T saying it. That's what George said. George said that after the Devin Haney fight, he said he was looking like he was happy and shit to know that they can make that fight. And if he really believed that, then he'll pick Devin. And we shall see. As he said, he saw a lot of holes in Devin performance, and so he wants to explore that. You guys smash the like button and the subscribe button before we get up out of here. Now, it's tomorrow's Grown Woman Talk. I'm gonna pick I'll invite all of y'all to it. I'm gonna pick a topic, maybe a little serious, but I hope y'all can maintain y'all. Let me see. Just maintain y'all passion. We're gonna talk about segregation. I'm just telling y'all. I haven't told the ladies, but we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. And somehow or another, it's gonna warp it to whatever it warp it to. I'm gonna try to cut down on the hours that we on the show, because we be going like 5 hours. But you guys always say I like to be a fly on the wall. Well, when y'all come into the Grown Woman Talk, that's exactly what y'all are, a fly on the wall on how we as women talk when we on the phone. Please join in. Don't be scared. We ain't gonna bite y'all unless you want us to. We ain't gonna bite y'all unless you want us to. You can come in on the chat. You can beam in, or you can call in. Don't forget, I do a wellness show on Sunday at 1 p.m. or whatever. It's been a fun couple of weeks of boxing. We have Loma Chico. I will talk about it tomorrow, just a little bit before Grown Woman Talk. We got Loma Chico coming up, and on this weekend, if you care. Only thing I want to see is Comey beat his ass. That's it. Big Baby Anderson is on there, and Nico Walsh. Shout outs to Nico Walsh for consistently fighting. He's improving every time, but he is not on the level of his grandfather. And I mean, I know that's what a lot of people have been waiting to see, and I was trying to wait and see it too. I ain't gonna lie, but he is a whole person. He's not his grandfather, so I have to give him a benefit of the doubt. But I don't know where that is going. But if he keeps improving every fight, then maybe he's gonna be somebody notable. But he fights in the 160, I believe. There's some killers up there, or 154. I can't remember. Either way, there's some killers up there. So I don't think he can handle none of them. So he gonna be a long time. But if if he's fighting as often as he is, like every couple of months, then goddamn, eventually he gonna have the experience, and experience is what? A good teacher. So remember, you guys, when you know better, you do better. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here tomorrow. See y'all. And thanks for everybody who dropped in and everything. Smash the subscribe and like button on your way out. That's what I asked for Christmas. All of y'all, my Secret Santa, smash the like button and subscribe. See, it's a free thing. I ask for stuff free. I'm an easy date. Anyway, I will see y'all tomorrow. Be sure to tune in. Peace.